Yeah. So good evening all. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. If that is the case, can I see you guys indicate that you can hear me
So
loud
good
and clear?
evening, everyone. Maazi Ezeoke.
Okay, so I can see just monitoring myself from another device. I can see that that is happening. You can hear me. Okay, so let's share some love here, guys. Um, is yeah, thank you very much. Like as it has been our tradition, it's always good to know from which part of the world we are watching from. So if you can tell me which part of the world you are watching me from, then that would be very helpful, and I can give you guys a shout out. But today, let us discuss something very fundamental and very important, and that is that the Nigerian Senate um, is to create an agency that is to cater for de-radicalized or rather repentant Boko Haram members. That the Nigerian Senate is going ahead to do this. Just let that sink in for a moment. The Senate today, being the Thursday, the 20th of February 2020, and introduced a bill to establish an agency to to de-radicalize repentant Boko Haram. Okay, what it means, people. We once read that the Nigerian army um, kind of absolve people that have been quote unquote de-radicalized. Imagine these are people who have gone out to engage because you don't just become a Boko Haram terrorist overnight. There are a series of processes that they have to go. They've been trained, they've been hardened, and these people after a while, and when they run out of ideas, they come out and tell us that that they are willing to hands over or hands up, and we accept them just like that, and probably take them in, cancel them, and think they've been um, you know, because probably they are hungry or the army is closing up on them, and suddenly we want to believe such nonsensical crap that they have been, de-radicalized. That is absolute nonsense. And to take the madness far, the Nigerian Senate actually entertains such. Now, it is time. This is not time for us to make much argument. One thing that I think all of us should do henceforth is it is time to contact your senator and ask them not to allow that bill go to second reading, not to talk of even going further. Because that is where we are trying to constitutionalize criminality. These are people who have killed, maimed, raped, and done all sorts of evil. We want to bring them back to the society. Is that a way you do things? No. It is an unbelievable thing if we allow this to happen because this is unacceptable, people. It is unacceptable. There is no way we can allow such to happen. Someone has been running around, running amok, you know, deleting people. Basically, let me use that word deleting people right, left, and center against the state. Now, compare this to the IPOB that is not on record that they have killed anyone. Yet, you have them, you're not rehabilitating them, you're not creating job for them, you just shoot them at sight. Obviously, someone who has taken arms against the federal government, you're saying that you're going to de radicalize them and take, That's insensitivity taken too far. That is insensitivity. In my mind, that is insensitivity taken too far because that is absolutely nonsense, absolutely madness. I can't imagine and I can't fathom how we can be thinking as a people in this way, in this manner. Okay? That bill is christened National Agency for Education, Rehabilitation, De-Radicalization, and Integration of Repentant Insurgents in Nigeria. Now, mark that word, repentant insurgent in Nigeria. What it means is you are looking at where more people will become insurgents as well. You are looking at where more people will be radicalized. You're looking at where you make it a constitutional thing that, oh, if you are radicalized and if you go ahead and kill people, that's acceptable because we can de radicalize you, because we can bring you back to the society. Doesn't that make your head hot? Something like that. Honestly, it makes me. I don't know where we start. And to tell you that I am beginning to see something fishy here. The the bill was sponsored by former Yobe Governor Senator Ibrahim Galdam, representing Yobe East Senatorial District. That is the man that actually. Question is, when he was the governor of Yobe State, Yobe is also in the heartland of the madness happening in Nigeria. Why did he not do anything? Why did he not basically de radicalize them at a smaller scale? So let us test it with Yobe. Why did he not do that? Why does it have to be when it gets to the federal government side and we start talking about de-radicalization, in the sense that because it is a conduit of money looting, it is a conduit to take money. That's what it is. There is no other thing other than a conduit to take money. Now, let this sink in, that these guys are going to be de-radicalized, and when they are de-radicalized, they are taken back to society, and they're going to be your neighbors. They're going to be, they're going to be maybe your gate man, and they're going to be one of those that will be, be in the same school with your sons, your daughters, your mom, your sisters. These are people that we ought to give them life sentences or do away with them. That's what it is. If you're a terror to the society, then the society will do what they do to those who are terror to them. Not, send them to some sort of, you know, you know, make them good, repair them. No, they've basically said they are not part of us, and because they're not part of the same society, then we should deal with them the way they ought to be dealt with. Okay? So, now let us think about this. So, all the memes, that's what it is. What the senators are basically telling us is that they are so insensitive. That is, that the level of insensitivity, it's so apparent. That the level of insensitivity is so wild that it doesn't matter. They are so insensitive to even be suggesting this. They are so insensitive to know that these guys are terrorists. So what they do? Now, what happens to all the maimings, all the bombings, all the killings? It means get government at, in order to get government attention, and government can, a bunch of people, and rehabilitate them. All you need to do, go attack, kill people in their thousands overrun communities and kidnap schoolgirls, underage girls, convert them to Islam, do whatever that you think is the right thing to do. This is something that is not acceptable. If Nigeria was to be a serious nation, the DSS should be monitoring the senator's movement, his friends, his associates, his telephone number, every single damn conversation that senator is having must be listened to. Because by that bill, he has actually declared himself the enemy of the state. I know some of you would argue that this is the same as Niger Delta militants. No, Niger Delta militants were doing something that they were doing as a means of getting attention for the things happening within their society. And you could actually meet them, stop the things that they were, talking about, and you can have a genuine conversation. But this is nothing. It puts everyone's life in danger. Even some of you in down south thinking that, oh, we are safe here. At some point, everyone is going to be hit. Everyone is going to be, everyone is going to be eventually be part of the whole madness. It's going to affect us all. I have not seen a society that thinks in this way. It's a joke taken too far. That's a joke taken too far. It is a joke taken too far. Already, a subject of fierce pushback, as it was being discussed today. There were some people that pushed back. The bill offers further concession to Boko Haram militants who chose to cease fire. That means, now, let me explain this for those who do not understand. It means you have a Boko Haram bomb maker, a fighter, a very fierce one. Let's say he has killed 300 people, including maybe 50 or 20 Nigerian soldiers. Suddenly he comes up saying, okay, I hands up, I now want to surrender and I want you to de-radicalize him. Sorry, I'm hands up, I want you to de-radicalize me. Then we will take such a killer, take him in. Obviously, he will know so many things, because that's his job. You think you can ever do something to such a person, he's going to only pipe low to learn and to get some strategic information from you. You leave him back to the society. He has come close to the trainers. He has come close to the Nigerian army. He has come close to the government. Now he has more information. These are information that could not be availed to him when he was in the Zambeza forest. But suddenly, here he is. How do you run a country in this way? Why is it that every day you wake up, this nation will keep on doing things that will make you get angry? According to a Vanguard newspaper today, we also saw where even Buhari said himself, the president of a nation, that he does not consider the amount that you and I, everyone clamors that the senators, the National Assembly guys are being paid too much. He said he does not consider that really that they are being paid too much. There must be something wrong with the type of either the drink or water or air in Asoro or in the National Assembly, because it appears anyone that gets into that Asoro or the National Assembly loses every sense of common sense reasoning. He loses touch with reality. That is indeed a very sad commentary. I am honestly taken aback as to why we are where we are. Giant of Africa walking on mosquito legs. Giant. An elephant walking on mosquito legs. You are no giant. You are nothing but a poo nation. You are no nation. You are no giant. How can you deal with the beggars? Deal with them. Pound them. That's why you have Air Force, you have the ground troop, you have the infantry, ground troops. Use technology, cite them. We see videos where these guys move on motorcycles, some on foot. Take them, aerial bombardment, wipe them out from the surface of this earth. No, we can't do that. I was watching Alaji, what's it called? This guy, Alaji Kazaure, today. Alaji Kazaure was actually saying he's from Kazaure, and he says that he believes that the Boko Haram is in the Nigerian army and is in the air force because he says, according to him, that whenever they go, before they go for bombardment, information is leaked to them. Today, Kasaure was saying that there was a time the army withdrew cash, hundreds of millions of naira, hundreds of millions of naira, to pay soldiers on the front cash for their upkeep, and they were waylaid. Look at it, a Nigerian army waylaid and the money collected. There was no air bombardment. There was no air support. Yet we paid America to get some jets. Where are they? We paid up front, though. We paid up front, cash up front. Yet where are they? Buhari on his own, when he took over in 2015, in 2016, when Christian Amampo of CNN asked him a question, he revealed that people shared $2.1 billion. The president said that. People, 2000, that was 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 years plus. Tell me, how many people has he put in jail, those that stole that money? Something is not adding up here. Something is not adding up here. And as long as this nation remains one, Africa might not see any progress. As long as this nation remains one, Africa might not see any progress. That's why many of us say it. I say it the way it is. Aburi Accord, a loose confederation, or total outright, let everybody go their way. Because I cannot imagine, listen, I cannot imagine in the Igbo nation, we see someone who has stolen, who has been killing people. The thought of it alone gives me goosebumps because someone killing, in your village, this person has been killing, he's gone, kill people, and suddenly comes in and says, oh, please, I'm now repentant, please forgive me. You think the society will welcome him? Oh, yeah, prodigal son. Prodigal son here. Meet your creator. That is the only forgiveness. Because that person has spilled blood. The only forgiveness is kumbaya, go meet your creator. The state must exercise that, coercive power. The power to flog people in line. Is a state, rather, the Nigerian state is a state that only melt out injustice to the ones that are weak, the ones that are, vulnerable, the ones that are peaceful. Look at those ones down south that are peaceful. You never negotiate with them. All you do, that is where you see the state acting. Suddenly, a house is invaded in Afaruku, and with, air support, ground troops, people shut down because they have nothing, not even catapults. But when you see real men with their AK-47 and all whatnot, APGs, what they do, they tuck their tails like a little tiny dog. But what we want to do now is to bring these people back through the back door. People, It's action time. Get your rep. This bill must not see the light of day. There must be punishment for those that this is insurrection, nothing less than insurrection. There must be punishment. We mustn't be in a position to basically, you know, it kind of tell them, yeah, you've done well. Done well how? Attire, honestly. So now, if you again remember this. If you remember sometime last year, the elders, Bonu is the theater of Boko Haram. Sometime last year, the elders, led by ex-governor Kashim Shetima last year, frowned at the initiative of soldiers reintegrating Boko Haram members, what they called that they've been reintegrated into the society after de-radicalization. These Bonu elders, the people that wear the shoe because they know where it hurts, they said no. They were led by ex-governor Shetima, Kashim Shetima. They frowned at the initiative of bringing these people back. They said that the military operation was not well thought out. Which military operation was he talking about? That was the operation being conducted and saying, okay, if you say you're no longer going to kill us, then we will give you, you know, show you some slides, some PowerPoint, and get some people to talk to you. Oh, calm down, calm down, calm down. Listen, it's time to change the narrative. Even the Bonu elders said no. The Bonu elders feared that releasing the purported repentant terrorists, those were their words, purported repentant terrorists, that even doing that would hamper the security of Bonu people. That releasing those purported Boko Haram militants into civilian population could be counterproductive. These are hardened fighters, and they just want to return them that way. Hardened fighters, people that they are at peace with mosquito. Hmm? They are at peace with mosquito. They are at peace with snake. Their house it's some piece of forest. Suddenly, you want to. Anyway, that's my own. What the only thing I can say, please, guys, everyone, go meet your senator, Facebook, Twitter. If you have their numbers, tell them my one. After this, I will send to the senators of Igbo senators I have. I say, listen, before we would not allow you to come down to your village. Don't you ever, even in your dream, if they bring this useless thing come, this useless agency, run, because if you dare it, we know where to wait for you. Don't worry. We know where to wait for you. Let's see how you will come home and sleep. What kind of rubbish is this? Arrant nonsense. Anyway, that's the main gist of this night. Now I can take some questions and let's make it interactive. Let me know what you think, because in knowing what you think, then we can rub minds and see if we can get somewhere. So let me just dedicate 5-10 minutes, then I'll call it a day. Okay. So I don't know where many of you are watching from. I have here Helen Peters, or rather, Helen Peters. Helen said, I feel sick hearing this type of message. Sorry, Helen. There is nothing, I'm not there to just make you uncomfortable, but if you know me, what I do, I stay with facts. And I examine the facts, and I look at the consequences of such decisions. And that's what I think. And that's my honest opinion, because I don't think this is right. This cannot be right. Okay. So Helen says once more. So let me know if you like the video. Just give the video a thumb up and just like it. It doesn't cost you nothing. And let me see again, Helen. God bless you, my brother. I can stand to hear this kind of message. I feel sick already. Good night, Helen. Um, I really very sorry. The whole essence is not to make you go to sleep thinking. The whole thing, the essence of this is to let us think and think that something is not right. Now, we wouldn't carry arms as it hasn't come to that, but we would be in a position to basically look at what is happening. We can always x ray these things and think of solutions or how we can help in finding solutions. Okay. So, Emmy Sami says, Maazi, this is evil. And yeah, Emmy said this is evil, and I have Ifi Ezeoke says, what a shame. How can Maazi, you are a voice of reason. I pray to see men like you leading the Igbo someday, if they would allow you to lead them. But when people, we have come and become a society that prefer people that run them over. I watched a video 2 days ago that really, brought something home. I watched Kate Henshaw from Cross River. She veered to be in the House of Assembly. She could not even get her party ticket. She only got one vote, even when she spent dollars, you know. And people who could actually do something, the people don't want them. People only want people to oppress them anyway. So that's why we keep, as long as we keep re-electing and electing cucumbers, we cannot have a better society. Okay, so many of you I know maybe don't like it when I give a lot of accolades to Senator Enyinia Abaribe. You know why I do that? Because this is a man, not only that he has stood up and he spoke, because nothing, you have been elected to speak truth to power. I give him a lot of accolade because this is someone who understands it. This is someone who says what you and I think on a higher pedestal, and I must give it to him. He is a great man. And he's someone that I look at. Yes, I have no fear as long as I stay with facts. That's why sometimes it appears that I disagree with people. When you make some outlandish, sometimes the propagandas we do hurt us a lot, but stick with facts. I deal with facts and figures because dealing with facts means you wouldn't run into trouble. Today, this is facts because this is what the Senate deliberated today. Facts. Now, my own insinuation is the consequences of this is going to hurt us collectively. You, me, your mom, your dad, everyone. You do not, like Obasanjo once said, you do not reinforce failure. These are people that have taken arms against the state. You cannot reinforce failure. You don't do that. So let me take some comments. Then, Gloria Igwe, why not we ask the senators to create a agenda that will operate? Okay, that will create job for for the young ones and the graduates. Exactly, Gloria Igwe, I agree with you. This is same region, the north, that has a lot of out of school children. According to Emir Sanusi, he says that 85% of Nigerian poverty, sorry, 87% of the whole Nigerian poverty resides in the north. Yet they cannot come up with how they want to tackle that. Rather, it's just to those that already declared themselves. Maazi from Phoenix, AZ, Nigeria is a joke, honestly. It's indeed a joke. Okay. So Boko Haram cutting people's head, both babies and women. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how you can really de-radicalize such people. Frank Okeke. I don't know how you can de-radicalize such people. Okay. Anyway, so from Connecticut, United States of America, carry on, my brother. Okay, thank you very much. So it's good to know where you are watching from. That gives me an idea to know where my listeners are all coming from. Okay, it's good to know that you are watching me from the United States of America. It is good to know. So you are, and we have Charles Okoye. He says, it's only a fool will support such rubbish. Of course, I know no Southeast, South will ever support such. Yes, it is an understatement to call that madness because that's the only thing. Okay. Christopher Osua says, Maazi, if FG like let them form 100 agencies to de-radicalize Boko Haram, it will never work. The only solution to devolve power to the regions, a regional approach will be more effective. I agree with you, you know, and that's why I think the Aburi Accord, the Aburi principle would work best for us, you know, just regional or confederation, because when I say this, confederation is the solution. Olugboyega Sotuba, I salute you from Maryland. Thank you very much, Maryland, my second city. So, greetings from Maryland. Yes, we are here at the ground zero. This is absolute rubbish. Many of us will keep saying, will keep talking, will believe nothing will happen. I get a lot of email people saying, Maazi, for speaking the truth, beware of when you travel, when you do this, when you drive around here, that they can hurt you. And I keep asking myself, is it, or I keep telling us, that is an absurd statement to make, and that is equally an absurd way of thinking. People who have been saying things that are not correct, sorry, that are not correct, have not been attacked. It's only someone who is saying the truth, who is working to expose the evil happening in the society, that you attack. What a society, what form of society works in that way? Chasokoye says, have they thought of all the girls in their captivity? In fact, Yobe House members who raised that motion has to be. Well, if we had a nation that worked properly, like think where people actually think like humans, he should be in, surveillance, because I see him as someone who is, I don't want to insinuate that he's part of them, but someone who has sympathy for them, you know, someone who has sympathy for them, because that is actually utter nonsense. Eh? Emmanuel Nguizo, I am watching from Michigan, USA. This bill is from Peter Fell. I can't agree more. King from UAE, my brother. For the look of things, Nigeria can never be good. See? See? A lot of people have basically seceded from Nigeria mentally. Just like someone who is married to a woman you no longer like, love, or whatever. You just, in your brain, you have divorced. Nothing is not no longer yours. That's what, because every day these things keep happening. Every day, all you hear is things that doesn't make sense, things that will get you angry. Okay? So, people, I'll read one or two more comments, then I'll call it a day so that you guys know this is what's happening. And this de-radicalization is nothing but evil. It is an unbelievable thing to happen. And we must not only watching, I want you to join me in that action. And that action means contacting your senator, contacting whoever represents you by email, by text, by Twitter, by Facebook. Send them, say no to De-Radicalization Boko Haram agency. We call it say no to this useless agency. Once more, Maazi Ezeoke here. So I'll call it a day if because I don't want this video to be long. Okay, if you have question, you can ask. If not, I would call it a day. Yeah. So I give you 1 more minute. If you have any question, you can ask. If not, I will say like the video, share the video, please, and don't hold it because other people need to see the video as well. It's not only you. So let's create this awareness, and we'll call it a day. Oh, good morning. Good morning. You're watching from Sydney, Australia. That's Don James. Don James. Watching from UAE, Maazi, I think more of Biafran than Nigeria. You see, one thing Obonna and Joko, one thing you have to know is you are in Nigeria as we speak. Whatever madness that they do affects you. So until you have the country of your own, by whichever name, you must speak about. When you travel out of Nigeria, for instance, you're not seen as, for now, you're not seen as any other thing as Nigeria. And whichever thing that gives you bad name remains. So that's why we must, while we hope for the best, we must get ready and be ready for the worst. Okay, so good night, Emisami. Good night, everyone. And once more, let me read the first one. Stanley Maazi. To the fact is that the North is tired and the mad rush to own power has brought them nothing. You see, sometimes that's what I actually say. The presidency is a mirage because the presidency of Nigeria has never helped any region that's ever held it. Castina as a state has had, Northwest has had 3 presidents. Castina as a state has had 2. We had Yaradua and we now have Buhari. Yet Castina in Buhari's hometown, bandits come in. People now contribute 1,000 just to get some, like 1 million or 2 million, and wait for the bandit when they come. Please don't hurt us and we'll pay. That's the level. So that you people should need to get this into your head and understand the level. It is, you remember, during the time of Theodore Oji, it is just almost at the time like when people deserted Aba. During the time of Osisi Kanku, the idiot that had the infantry to kidnap children, bus filled with children going to school. But the moment that happened, he met his Waterloo. The community with the Nigerian army flushed him out. And today, no one hears of such nonsense. The problem is, it appears even the people of the North are so tired. I say, well, enjoy the government you brought in. But the danger is, yes, they enjoy the government they brought in because it's a government of incompetence and cluelessness, but the spillover affects us here as well. Prince Johnson, well done, Maazi, watching from the United Kingdom. I hope it's not too cold in the UK. And I have watching from USA, that is Elema. And Henry, I can late. Thank you, Maazi, for your good work watching from Switzerland. Dankeschön. Ich hoffe, es ist nicht so kalt bei euch da in der Schweiz. Uche M, thank you, Maazi, for saying the truth. Yes, we stand by the truth, and the truth must be told. There is no need to lie, and there is no need to engage in propaganda. So what's going to happen I am appealing to one of all of us, as I said in my previous video, um, this Saturday or tomorrow, depending, either tomorrow, but check in Ginger Media, whichever time, if the people confirm, I want to have two guests that will dial in from Skype. We would have Charles Obu and Oyi of Oyi will join me. We will review why the Southeast governors backed down from the regional security outfit like Omotekum. I don't want to give much out, but it's going to be a very interesting time because two people will join me and we will have that conversation. We will, if time permits as well, I will give out numbers, or rather, I will give the Skype for people to ring in. Make sure when you are calling in that you must be in a place that has good, that is well lit up. That means well lit up means a place that is so bright. Now I can speak to you, you can see my face. Get light, make sure you're in a place that is so bright that we can see your face. So that is what is going to happen this weekend. This weekend is going to be exclusive. We are bringing you this information. It's going to be a very, very, very exclusive and explosive conversation. Get yourself ready. Get your power bank. If your internet is not, is going down low, recharge it because it's going to be a weekend to remember. Okay? So, Obiageri Owakwe says, thank you for your work. I am watching from Leeds. Oh, Leeds is in the north, yeah. Thank you, Maazi. You are always on point. Thank you very much. And Emmy, I thought you've already said good night. Emmy Sammy, it appears you like the sound of my voice. You've said good night and you come back again. Yes, that's a good. So, sorry everyone. I think something went wrong there. But as it is, eventually what's going to happen is that I will end the broadcast. And I know, as so many of you have gone to bed, the internet here suddenly went the other way around. Hence, the reason why it appears I've logged out. So, what thing I will do, I'll end the broadcast, then we'll see tomorrow evening, or we'll see on Saturday evening. Once more, this is Maazi Ezeoke. You all remain blessed.